Oh, hi there, everyone. It's kind of early in the morning. Didn't go to bed particularly early last night. I think it was about 11:30, 12, something like that. I actually woke up about an hour ago. Just made myself some breakfast. I had fried egg, some leftover potatoes and sausage, onions and garlic. Um, which were reheated in the microwave because the sausage was already cooked, the potatoes were already cooked. Um, I kind of just thought of doing it really quickly, so should have put the onions and the garlic, elephant garlic, which is really amazing garlic. It's good because it's easy to peel. Um, it's always from the States, and that's where you want your garlic from. You don't want it from China. Um, anyway, it's bigger, so it's easier to cut too. I didn't really cook those properly. I just threw them in the microwave with the potatoes and sausage. Really, what I should have done is I should have started cooking them before I cooked the egg or the two eggs. And I ain't some kind of pansy who's like, "Oh, I only want egg whites." No, I'll take the yolks. Yes, eggs have cholesterol in them and things like that, but like 1,000 years ago, this would have been an ideal breakfast. Didn't do too much for my breath, I must say. Basically raw onion and raw elephant garlic, and then mild Italian sausage are going to do a whole lot for your breath. But I brush my teeth. I have a tendency to brush my teeth before I have a shower. I have not done that yet. I will get to it. I have about 50 minutes before I have to head out the door to work. Um, this isn't that early for some people, but get in front of a camera and talk to people you don't know and you've barely been awake, you're still discombobulated and all that. It's kind of early. Um, might have to trim some sections of my beard. Um, at some point, I might just get rid of the beard altogether. But I've had it so long, I don't even know what I'd look like without it. Oh gee whiz, I can see my face in kind of the window box as I'm talking right now. And do I ever look pale? I mean, I've always looked pale because that's just my skin complexion. But I really ought to think about building a base tan. Well, I can wait for another time. I'm not really in an immediate rush to do that. I have other priorities. Um, so yeah, not bad breakfast. That would have been fitting for some Viking or Anglo-Saxon king many years ago. So it's good enough for me. Sure, it's got a lot of cholesterol. The Italian sausage probably got sulfites and things like that in it, but we don't worry about things like that, man. Like they're quality sausages, i.e., they're not just some shitty old fucking, disgusting value pack hot dogs. Which reminds me of a story of when I was in a Loblaws. Okay, so my dad and I were buying, all kinds of stuff like some halibut, some cheese because they got 30% off cheese sometimes. This is a while back. Anyway, this guy, he's got this big shopping cart. He walks past us, and he's got like 22 liters of ginger ale, and he's got like at least 50 packets of value hot dogs, probably more. We're talking like the generic bottom of the line, barely considered meat hot dogs. And my dad says, oh, he must be getting ready for a party. He's a big fat slob, right? So he like just gives that look like, this is what I eat every day. He didn't say that, but that was the look he gave. And it was just like, Okay, yeah, you're kind of stupid. Um, 1,000 years ago, I know where you would have been. At the trough, eating like the pig you are. Not me, though, man. 1,000 years ago, I'd have been doing something significant. I would have been some sort of high-ranking military official of some sort in some tribal militia or something like that. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't have been a damn Roman, that's for sure. Don't like the Romans. A lot of people, when they look at history, they go, "Oh, look at the Romans, look at what they accomplished." Fuck the Romans. Who cares? Yes, they're an important part of history, but, doesn't mean not to like them, doesn't mean they were me. And at the end of the day, it's not where you were, it's where you are, and where you're gonna be in the future. And, okay, so maybe you could have done some things better in the past, but, whatever. Um, we'll just move forward and, yeah, work on that. Um, yeah, as I was eating my breakfast, I started thinking, just before I started my social media, um, well, before I started actually making videos, really, like on this channel, I made videos about a year ago. A little bit before that, I made some for Facebook, which I've since made private. If anyone really wants to see them, they can. I was just practicing, really. So there's nothing really significant there in most of them. I had a YouTube channel before. I can't remember which one, where I had about 20 videos. They were okay, and this was 2 or 3 years ago, but I deleted them. I might actually have them somewhere on my computer in the video files, but I'd have to go looking for them. So I don't know if I'm going to bother. Because, actually, it's funny enough, most of the videos I do make for YouTube, I don't actually rewatch them. Ever. Like, very few of them. Because, I do tend to ramble on a lot of my videos. Some people might find the way I talk kind of interesting. Some people, it might give them a headache. Who knows? But I defy you to do a better job. Because a lot of your critics can't create. That's just the bottom line. And if you can't create, unless you have something critical to say, and you can actually, it would help if you could create, something of your own, and then, then you can really say, well, this is what's wrong with your video, this is why mine's better than yours, and you got some standing ground. If you're some geek behind a desk who critiques and is too embarrassed to show himself for what he really is and won't contribute anything to any sort of media perspective, then shut the fuck up. You're a douchebag. A little nobody that everyone will forget one day. Ain't nobody gonna forget me, man. That's for sure. Anyway, there was a thought as I was eating my breakfast, and that was when I started my YouTube account, really, and the social media about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. I just remember the first time I heard the Power Man 5000 Builders of the Future soundtrack. I thought that Power Man had finished, that they weren't going to really do anything significant. Not all the songs on that track are winners. Some of them are really awesome, though. Invade, Destroy, Repeat. Obviously, the first track on the CD is very good. The next one's pretty good. And, yeah, there's one or two other ones that are alright. But it's just weird, the context of when this showed up on my recommended to listen to list. Because it's on the sidebar on YouTube, right? And they were all stuff about mental health and not mental health as in that way, but like asylums and things like that. There was a Batman one of Arkham Knight, whatever the video game was for that. And there was one at Broadmoor Hospital. That's some really scary hospital in the UK somewhere. And it's just weird that all that was next to the Powerman 5000 on the recommended to watch list. And the first song is Invade, Destroy, Repeat. And of course the lyrics are, "This is a message and a warning. There's no escaping from here." And it's just like, oh, alright then, this is something I would mention. Not that you can really talk to YouTube, or at least I can't. Like, there really ought to be sort of how you can send a message to YouTube. At least they don't make it easy to figure that out. And I don't invest much effort into looking, and the thing is, I would send him a message saying, "Why did you send this combination of things to me?" I had looked up, stuff about asylums and things like that, not Broadmoor Hospital specifically, and only a little bit of Arkham from the Batman video game, but I hadn't looked it up recently. None of it was on my likes list. Like, I don't like videos about insane asylums, to be honest with you. So, as a patient of mental health, I had looked them up before, but yeah, like I said, not recently. And I just didn't understand why that combination of videos was on my recommended list. And it's the kind of thing I would say to someone, but then they'll just deny it. They'll deny anything. They go, "Well, it's random. It's this, blah, 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 blah." And it could just be a barefaced lie. It could just not be random at all. And then I also started thinking, when I, make comments on YouTube and things like that, or make videos on YouTube, the thing is, there is no normal conversations. No normal conversations at all on YouTube for me. It's always some troll who works for YouTube. Sometimes they're probably just a moderator. Maybe they're an admin every now and then. And who knows what else. So sometimes I talk in kind of a way because I'm just trying to get them to answer some questions. But they just refuse to. Zip. Can't get an answer out of the guy. And because it's the internet, you don't know what they look like, don't know anything about them, usually. I remember early on in my YouTube making video career, I was trolling a little bit for views. I'd be like, "Well, why don't you have," because I was having an argument with someone on a channel, and I'm like, "Well, why don't you present your argument in a video, post it on YouTube? Now I'll make my case on YouTube, and then we'll see who has more views and who has the better video." Of course, they wouldn't do that, and they're like, "Oh, you're just trolling for views." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're just some douchebag who just types things and wants to remain anonymous because he doesn't want to stand out. He wants to be a little, ooh, I'm a fraidy cat. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that." Well, one important thing I've learned over the years is being normal, you ain't ever gonna be special. You're never gonna get anywhere in life by being normal. So you have to, put yourself out there and do your best. And when I say, you're not going to get anywhere by being normal, doesn't mean you have to be like a freak or anything to get somewhere, but I'm just saying, if you're some guy who goes to work, has a couple hobbies here and there, you got a girlfriend, you got this, you got that, you're not doing anything that anybody else isn't doing. So therefore, you are not a unique and special snowflake. You're the same decaying matter as everything else. Me, I like to think of myself as a little bit different than that. I am trying, and yeah. So, even just the simple act of making my breakfast, I get all kinds of thoughts about just any sort of thing. I have that kind of a brain and a mindset that I can just spontaneously think of new ideas, and or return to old ideas and sort of entertain myself that way. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people need a cellular phone to have brain stimulation. They need to be scrolling on their Facebook or something like that. Although I do that a little bit, I don't do it all the time. And what some people, well, I like to call it, and some of my buddies like to call it, we call it being addicted. And it's funny because the other day we're on somewhat of a busy street, driving by, and these girls were, they're on some sort of I forget, I don't know what you call it. It's not a median or a ledge, or maybe it is a median, I don't know. But anyway, it's the thing in between two sets of traffic going each way. They had like a tree there and things like that. But there were these girls, and I say girls because they were like, I don't know how old they were like 20 years old or something. I have no idea. We only saw them for a few seconds. They're scrolling on their phone. And my friend rolls down his window and he's going, "You're addicted." And of course, I don't exactly know what that means, but you shouldn't goddamn well be looking at your cell phone when you're crossing the street. You fucking moron. Really, some people are just so stupid. And I don't mean that as girls and women in general. I just mean anybody. I mean, I've seen guys do stupid things with cell phones too. There's lots of idiots out there. And the thing is, sure, you can get away with it 1,000 times, and nothing bad will happen to you. But you only have to fuck up once, and then you're really fucked. Well, I still have some things to do in my morning routine. As I mentioned, I have not had a shower. So that's something I would like to do before I head out the door to go to work. It's probably going to be a warm day today, so I'm going to bring my coat, obviously, just in case it rains. And it's not going to be that warm, really. Although it's early April, it's not particularly warm, not yet anyway. So yeah. As far as my breakfast goes, I had some orange juice, milk, and water, all three separately. So that's all in my system. And a swig of Gaviscon, not because I feel as though I should have acid reflux problems, but I wouldn't have had them anyway, but damn doctors, it's their fault I had acid reflux problems. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my morning routine a little bit, and some ideas outside the box that I was thinking of. It's still early for me, so anyway, yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys later with something a little more interesting to hear about. Anyway, have a good one. See ya.